Greetings, Earthlings, and welcome back. This is your friendly pal, Malan D, and we're going to do a good old-fashioned water cheers because it's too late in the day for coffee. It's 6 o'clock on Friday, May 27th. And I've spent the last 15 or 20 minutes setting up a new little YouTube studio. If you remember the old videos from the tower, I've since moved out of there. I've tried to recreate the dimensions as closely as I could. I put the microphone at the same angle. The big difference is behind me, there are no longer white walls with two pieces of art. You're now in my guest room. And I used to have 2 guest beds in here, but because I really don't have guests a lot, I decided forget it. This is my new YouTube studio. So here we are. I have a light here. I'm going to have another light here. But hey, for today, this is what it is. It's Friday, May 27th, 6:07 p.m. And we're back. I've been meaning to do this for a long time. You guys have been asking me for a morning coffee type of video, somewhere where we can sit here and talk. And morning coffee, those were live streams where we had, 50, 70 people a day kind of tuning into that and hanging out. And the old videos was just me recording like this. And so I was going to do it. I'm going to do it this way tonight. You guys let me know what you think. Feels pretty funny to see myself on here again. I haven't talked into a camera by myself for so long that it once again feels strange. But after a while, these things, they become normal again and feels totally fine, like anything else. When you stop playing guitar for a year or 6 months, and then you pick up a guitar, you've kind of forgotten. Then it comes back. So, as always, there is no plan here, no script. I have no idea what I'm going to say. I'm about 2 minutes in, and I'm going to shoot for about maybe a 10-minute chat with you guys, just to see what's happening. Maybe I'll ask you questions, and we can use the comments to answer in instead of like a chat room on a live thing. But my goodness, lots has happened. The last time I checked in with you guys was right around the time that I released the 2021 record that I did called Cowboy in the Sunshine. It's hard to believe it, but it's been like a year and a month since then. And I've been working on a ton of music. Lately, I haven't finished anything at this point yet, but I have a ton of music, like probably 8 to 10 songs, 80% of the way done. And then I've started writing other songs in a completely different musical genre, and you never know which one's going to actually get released. To tell you the truth, I was telling my friend about this. He visited recently from Oklahoma, Damo, and I have some really pretty 45-minute set of classical acoustic songs that I was playing around LA just before the pandemic hit and everything got shut down. And I started to record that record, and I didn't like the way that it sounded. I went to record those songs, and I didn't like the way it sounded, so I just started messing around, and I ended up making kind of a country classic rock, Pink Floyd sounding something. I don't know what it is, Cowboy in the Sunshine. So at this point, maybe at some point I'll go back and re-record those really pretty classical songs, but that's kind of the way I do it. I tell people that for every song that you hear me put out, there were probably 40 songs that didn't quite get finished, and then so whatever you see get released is kind of a fraction of what's actually going on. But yeah, hopefully I'll do something again this year. I've been really inspired by people who I follow who are releasing not necessarily albums, but like a song every week or 2 songs a month or even 1 song a month. 1 song a month, that's 12 songs a year, and you have an album. But just trying to think of different ways to do things because, my God, think about it. When I first got interested in doing music, it was a completely different world. The industry was a completely different industry. And now, like, none of the stuff that I learned or knew about is relevant at all, except for that singing, the writing and the singing and recording. But releasing records, who knows? It's funny when I talk to someone super young, let's say they're 21 and they're wanting to do music, and we talk about record labels and how we used to, bands used to just die to try to sign this terrible record deal that would steal all of your, unbeknownst to you, take all of the rights to your songs and all the future monies that come in from your songs, and you would be left in the dirt. But we all wanted it. Like everybody was just dying to sign that bad contract, and younger people now, they just don't get it at all. Like, what are you talking about? Why would you want to work with a label? You could just put it on SoundCloud. There wasn't SoundCloud. YouTube. There wasn't YouTube. Instagram. There was no Instagram. Like, there was no internet. There were no cell phones. Like, I remember getting in cars that had 8-track players in them. Been a while. So yeah, it's kind of a cluster F as far as what to do, but that's what makes it fun. Other than music, still to this day, I get asked this all the time. So affiliate marketers, if you're in the room, listen up. I love you guys. I bet I get asked once every 2 weeks or so. Someone will hit me up on some social media account and say, "Hey, Malan, are you still doing campaigns?" And I send back, "Yes, I'm addicted. I can't quit." And that's still my answer. I'm addicted. I can't quit. And I don't know why I would. Still having a blast with that. Still running Mad Society. Actually, I have a follow-along of a campaign I'm running right now. If you're a member, you can check it out. If not, don't worry about it. Half the people that watch these videos have no idea what that even means. And that's what this channel is. Totally random. Completely strange. And that's a pretty good explanation of myself as well. If you add in bipolar, crazy, ups and downs. I mean, if I were to really broadcast what's really in my mind on YouTube, they'd probably defund my YouTube channel or whatever it's called. So, sometimes you keep the most bizarre and dangerous things inside, and then you slip them into lyrics in your songs, and then no one actually realizes the things that you're admitting to. I don't know. I'm just rambling. I'm at 7 minutes. I got 3 or 4 minutes to go. What else should we talk about? We could talk about the news, but just that it's all fake and none of it means anything. And one of the things that I think about from time to time is, this might sound odd to you, but there's really nothing in the news for the last several years that you really need to know about. And the key word is need. You don't need to know any of this. Anything that's been in the news, you don't need to know. You go, what about COVID? You don't need to know. What about elections? You don't need to know. What about the Johnny Depp trial? It's the same thing. You don't need to know that. How do I know? Because there are squirrels and birds living in my backyard, lizards, coyotes, deer. And they don't watch the news. They don't even know what a TV is. And somehow they get by just fine. You don't need any of it. I don't need any of it. I watch sometimes for entertainment, sometimes to inflict pain upon myself and see the horrors going on in the world. I don't really watch the TV news channels at all. It's bad enough online, and on Twitter it's, pretty chaotic. The worst place to read online news, hands down the worst place, is Facebook. If you get your news from Facebook, you have to stop doing that. Because what happens is they've got artificial intelligence. It's not an algorithm. It's an artificial intelligence brain, little monster, and it knows everything about you from your Facebook profile. It knows if you're gay, if you're straight, if you're on drugs, if you're sober, if you go to AA, if you use certain deodorant. They know everything about you, everything. And what I see is they basically feed you the news that you already agree with, and then they feed you the news that will really piss you off. 100% of the time. Every time I check the news on Facebook, it's unreadable. You can almost feel like the way that they are antagonizing. I can feel it, the way that they're kind of saying, click this, listen to this. We're saying something you don't like. Here's a bunch of stuff you like, then here's a really inflammatory thing that you probably won't like. And topics aside, the real problem is when I use my iPhone, and I click on a news story in Facebook, it opens in the Facebook browser, which is the worst browser in the history of browsers. And on my iPhone, I have an ad blocker on Safari, and Safari just naturally blocks a lot of ads. But when you view a news site on Facebook, you click it, ads just start popping up. An entire video overlay will play. You can't even really get back to the story. So many times I just give up and I just close the app. And I go, what am I doing? I'm so stupid. Why did I even do this? And let me tell you another story. As a guy who has marketed online a little bit in his life, The news stories that you're clicking on aren't even news stories. They are just drivel written so that they'll have something to surround with advertisements. That's why when you see it, it's kind of a crazy clickbait headline. And then you go to the site and ads are just everywhere. And to even read the article, you can read like 2 paragraphs, and then there's like a video playing and another ad, and then you scroll and there's 2 paragraphs and then more, and then a pop-up comes. They're playing a game. And I don't care if it's the New York Times or Jerry's little newsstation.com. They're all doing it. They're putting inflammatory headlines or clickbait headlines to get you to click. And then once you get to their site, ads go everywhere. They get paid 1,000 times. And even if you close it down, it's too late because they've already been paid. So what you're looking at is a skeleton crew of news organizations who still have the banner names and the, big high-end brand names, but they have been seemingly gutted and replaced with basically interns, I guess, writing the articles. The articles are crazy. Maybe it's an artificial intelligent writing app that's writing the articles, but it's not high-end, highbrow writing. That's for sure. It's awful. When I read them sometimes, I'm just blown away. I mean, there's better journalism, better writing on the ultimateclassicrock.com. And they're writing about the Scorpions or whoever. Who did I recently read about on there? Steve Vai. I guess he just put out a new guitar album. He was on there. But anyway, what I'm saying is Facebook news is the worst. And at the end of the day, there is no news that you need to know. You say, well, I want to be informed. Okay, you want to. You don't need to be informed. And anyway, what was there's a quote that I heard that I laugh and I share sometimes. It said, if you don't watch the news, you're uninformed. And if you do watch the news, you're misinformed, right? Something like that. Anyway, don't let me start ranting about things I hate. Let's keep it around things we love, which is stuff like music, marketing, and absolute madness. And YouTube. So hey, let's do a little water cheers on the way out. I've hit my test video goal. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm just rambling, and we're going to get back on track soon enough. So until then, be sure and like, comment, subscribe to the channel, whatever. Share the video, do whatever you want. Leave a comment. Let me know what's up with you. It's been a while. We're 12 minutes, 45 seconds in, and it's time to go. So again, thanks for tuning in. I'm your strange host, Malan D, and I will see you in the future.